example is like buying a new dress and checking the pockets to find there's some money in there too. Now today's chord progression highlights the usage of chords to help switch from a major to a minor tonality and vice versa. That is, for example, moving from the key of B major to the key of B minor and the reverse too. And as a bonus, we also get to see how we can bring in some outside notes with respect to both major and minor keys. Now you might have already seen this kind of a musical tool being used in a rock, pop or blues context. Today I'll approach it in a jazz way. I'll play the whole example first, and if it catches your fancy, stay put to watch me explain what's happening inside. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now the skeleton of this progression has a common set of 3 chords that lead into a possible 2 different endings. One that gives the listener the feeling of being in a minor key, that is B minor, with the help of the B minor 7 chord. The other that gives the listener the feeling of being in a major key, that is B major, with the help of the B major 7 chord. I also like to point out the ability of the first 3 chords to produce such an ambivalent sound that it feels easy to switch to any of the 2 tonalities at the last moment. Let's now hear the first progression that ends with B minor 7 and gives us a minor tonality. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Play this progression a second time, but this time, instead of playing the B minor 7 chord at the end, I'll play a melody instead, and you can use that melody to confirm that you're feeling that you're still in the minor key. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you felt that the sound of the progression is slightly odd at different points in time, you're bang on target. And that's because there are some outside notes with respect to the key of B minor. Now, the 2 outside notes that we'll encounter early on are D sharp and G sharp, and that's coming in the first chord, that is E major 7. As I play the E major 7, I see this D sharp note, which is not there in the key of D. Now in the key of D, that would be a major third. A mi re do, while we need a mi re do. we need D instead. Now the other note, which is G sharp, and that becomes a major sixth in the key of B minor, again which is not there in the natural minor. It will lead itself to La De Do instead of Le De Do. We need that sound with the G. So these two notes, they are the outside notes in the beginning, and then the third one comes in the chord F sharp 7, which is the note A sharp. Now this note, it acts like the major seventh, which is Di-do, instead of the one that's there in the natural minor, that's De, De-do, Di-do, De-do, Di. So this kind of gives us the sound. Now while we can, technically say that G sharp and A sharp can be considered as a part of the harmonic minor key. Let's hear 1, 2, 3, 4. Even so, the D sharp still happens to be the outside note. Now this time I'll take the same first three chords, but instead of ending on the B minor 7, I will end on the B major 7 and give us a major tonality. That is the feeling of being in a major key. In our case, B major. Let's hear how that sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just like I did in the previous example, I'll replace the B major 7 chord with a melody that's based out of the key of B major so that you still get the sound of the major tonality. Let's hear how that sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now in the example at the beginning, you heard me switch from a major to a minor tonality and back and forth quite a few times. Now it's time to solve this mystery. The first three chords, that is E major 7, E minor 7 and F sharp 7, bring in quite a few outside notes with respect to both the B major and the B minor key. And this gives the progression a kind of ambivalent sound such that it feels like it could go either way, either to the B minor 7 and give us a minor tonality, or go towards the B major 7 and give us a major tonality. Now with respect to the key of B major, the two outside notes we encounter are D and G, and that come about in the second chord, which is E minor 7. Sounds something like this. Now the note D is a minor third in the key of B major and is not there, that is Mi Re Do. Instead of giving us the sound Mi Re Do, the other outside note is G. Now that note is the minor sixth. We know that a minor sixth is not there in the key of B. We have a major sixth. This one, the minor sixth, would give it a sound that is Le Di Do instead of the La Di Do. Now you can see that this progression has been instrumental in being able to switch from a major to a minor tonality. And I'd like to add at the end that in the case of jazz progressions, these kind of musical tools are bread and butter. So let's end by playing another jazz progression. What say? 1, 2, 3, 4.